I'm Diane Rosignola, here in San Francisco at NAREIT's REIT World, our 2018 annual conference. I'm here with Eric Bolton, Chairman and CEO of MAA. Hi, Eric.
Hello.
How would you characterize demand for apartment housing across the Sunbelt region, and how concerned are you about new supply at this point?
Well, demand is as strong as I've ever seen it in my 25 years at MAA. We continue to see good demand as a consequence of just demographic trends, changes that continue to impact society and how they approach meeting their housing needs broadly. Of course, the economy and job growth continues to do quite well, particularly across our Sunbelt markets. So as a consequence of all these factors, we continue to see just tremendous demand for apartment housing across our footprint. The supply picture has clearly picked up over the last couple of years. I think, though, at this point, we don't see supply levels really getting, I would consider, to be out of hand. I think it varies a bit by market in terms of the level of pressure that we're seeing. But broadly, as we work through 2018 and start taking a more detailed look at 2019, we continue to believe that the delivery of new units and new supply in 2019 will be modestly down a little bit from 2018. We continue to see very positive trends on rents over the back half of 2018, which sets up for improving trends in 2019. So broadly, we continue to believe that next year looks slightly better than 2018 in terms of a leasing environment for apartments across our footprint, and we're encouraged with what we're seeing in the way of trends right now.
And in the past, you've described acquisition pricing as aggressive. How is MAA reacting to that on the development side?
Well, we are ramping up our development opportunities a little bit in terms of things that we're pursuing. One of the things that came out of our merger with Post Properties a couple of years ago was a development capability that long successful track record they've had as a developer. We brought that team on board with us and excited to have them. And with a strong balance sheet that we have now, we've got a lot of capacity to look at development more so than we have in the past. And with the acquisition environment being as frothy as it is, deploying capital through buying stabilized properties is just not creating an opportunity to acquire a yield that makes sense for us. And whereas on the development front, we are seeing an ability to start some projects, particularly expansions of existing communities that can become particularly accretive in terms of their earnings impact in a fairly near-term basis. So, we've got about $150 million under development at the moment. We'll probably ramp that up closer to $300 to $400 million next year, both on a combination of existing land sites that we have, as well as some new land sites that we just put under contract in a number of our existing markets.
And just to talk a bit more about Post Properties, where are you seeing the most evidence of improved performance metrics?
Really, in the first 2 years, so it was 2 years ago in December that we closed on the merger, and in fairly short order, we saw benefits on the expense side of the equation in terms of various synergies, both at the general corporate overhead level as well as at the property level. We're well on track to exceed the overhead synergy target that we had identified when we announced the transaction. And overhead cost that we've wrung out of the combined company is better than we thought we would be able to do. At the property level, just as a consequence of the enhanced scale that we got, and also some changes that we made in practices surrounding turning of apartments and things like that, we were able to squeeze a lot of savings out of the combined company. In 2017, our year-over-year growth in same-store expenses was only 1.7%. We followed it up this year to date, same-store expense growth of only 1.8% year to date. We think the year will come out around 2% or so, and that's in a time where we're seeing pressure on real estate taxes. So we've done quite well on the expense side of the equation for the first 2 years. Left to harvest is really on the revenue side. We've spent a lot of time the past year retooling a lot of the yield management system data as it applies to the Post portfolio. And despite the supply pressures that we see in the market from new supply, we think that the rent growth growth trends are going to start to show improvement as a consequence of the retooling we did with some of the yield management, and that will play out over the next couple of years. And then one of the other big areas of opportunity yet to be harvested really is in the redevelopment, the kitchen and bath upgrades that we do. We've got well over 13,000 apartments left to execute on with just in the Post portfolio that we'll work on over the next couple of years. So we're excited to now focus on the revenue side of the equation to go along with the benefits that we've captured and will continue to hold on to as it relates to the expense side of the equation.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you.
For more from REIT World, visit REIT.com.